Rumors once again about a potential trade of Elias Pettersson are being thrown around. And guess what? The Boston Bruins name is in the mix. Do the Bruins have the assets to acquire him? And what are the odds Vancouver even moves him? Gonna cover all this in the latest video from Bruins Diehards. So buckle up, Bruins fans. I'm here to give you the latest info on your beloved Boston Bruins. If you've been liking my Bruins content, please leave me a like and subscribe. If you've already done so, thank you, and let's get into it. Pettersson's name has surfaced in trade rumors this offseason, and the speculation is intensifying following a turbulent 24-25 campaign for both him and the Vancouver Canucks. After signing an 8-year, $92.8 million contract extension in March of 2024, carrying an $11.6 million AAV, the expectation was that Pettersson would remain the franchise centerpiece. However, a sharp decline in production, locker room friction, and questions about him have shifted the Canucks' stance on their star forward. Statistically, Pettersson took a noticeable step back in 24-25. After an 89-point season in 23-24, he managed just 45 points this past year, a 44-point drop that raised some concerns. He was only able to play in 64 games for the Canucks this season due to injury troubles. This is only 2 years removed from his 102-point season. His shooting percentage dipped, and his impact at even strength waned, despite being featured prominently on the power play. Though some of the decline can be attributed to the Canucks' systematic struggles and late season slump, the downturn is alarming for a player commanding that elite money. Vancouver expected him to anchor the offense, and when he didn't, patience began to wear thin. One of the biggest offside stories that shadowed Pettersson's season was the reported rift between him and alternate captain JT Miller. Tensions between the two had reportedly simmered over a year, with difference in playing style and personality leading to internal conflict. Miller, known for his intense vocal leadership style, clashed with the more reserved and methodical Pettersson. Reports surfaced during the final stretch of the regular season that Pettersson felt undermined in the locker room, especially as Miller's influence grew and coach Rick Tocchet leaned on Miller's leadership during critical moments. Miller, though, was traded to the Rangers, and most thought the drama would be over, but it hasn't seemed to settle in Vancouver. GM Jim Rutherford didn't make it any easier by letting the world know that Quinn Hughes would like to play with his brothers, which started the speculation that Hughes could leave Vancouver as a UFA when his contract ends in 26-27. Quinn was a huge fan of Tocchet, who left to coach Philadelphia this offseason, which has only put more fire to the rumors that the Canucks are looking to move players. You would think the Canucks would like to keep Pettersson to keep them competitive and in turn keep Quinn Hughes in Vancouver. Elliot Friedman reports the Vancouver Canucks are aware of offers for Pettersson, but they would rather solve their problem than trade it away. Trade talk will surround the often inconsistent star, but the Canucks haven't given up on him yet. Frank Saravelli, though, reported the Canucks will re-engage with teams regarding Pettersson's trade before the no-trade clause kicks in this July, but are open to keeping him. With somewhat conflicting reports from NHL insiders, it tells me the Canucks will move him if they get an offer they can't refuse, or if they realize that Quinn Hughes is probably going to leave at the end of his deal. From a financial standpoint, Pettersson's deal is hefty. He is set to earn $11.6 million annually through 2031-32 season. With no trade protection kicking in July 1, 2025, that window has made the current offseason a crucial pivot point for the Canucks if they want to explore a move. His contract is front-loaded with the majority of his salary paid in signing bonus, making him more financially appealing to cap-flexible teams seeking a high upside player with reduced real dollar cost in later years. We also know how the Bruins ownership works, so, saving money is something they like. Despite the noise surrounding him, Pettersson remains an elite talent. A cerebral, creative center with high-end vision and one of the best wrist shots in the NHL. He can control the pace of the game when he's at his best. He's also shown the ability to play responsibly at both ends of the ice most of the time, though his physical play has often been questioned. Still only 26, Pettersson offers a tantalizing mix of skill and experience that would make him a top-line upgrade for most teams. Players like him don't become available too often, and I feel he looks like a guy that needs a change of scenery. Yes, Vancouver moved the problem, which supposedly was two-way power center JT Miller, but at what cost? Vancouver didn't get better after the trade, and their problems didn't seem to go away. Once a room becomes toxic, it's very hard to come back from it. They're professionals, but the drama went public, and it's not like it was made-up stuff like from the Bruins last season. When the two made-up rumors from the Bruins last season came out, players quickly squashed it, and in Vancouver's case, the players openly admitted to it. Players came out and said they're working through it. Miller worked it all the way to New York. The Boston Bruins stand out as a potential suitor for Pettersson. The Bruins are in a transition phase, looking for a long-term successors to Patrice Bergeron and David Krejci down the middle. Filling the roles of Bergeron and Krejci are almost next to impossible, and they're not going to fill them during free agency. The Bruins learned last season when unfairly labeling Elias Lindholm as Bergeron-like. Lindholm is a 2C on a good team and far from a 1C, but currently the Bruins are out of options, and Lindholm finally developed chemistry with David Pastrnak at the end of the year, which I'm sure the Bruins brass was breathing a sigh of relief. It also helped that Lindholm looked amazing at the IIHF World Championships. Pettersson could thrive in Boston, especially alongside David Pastrnak, and maybe even Morgan Geekie if they re-sign him. I really hope they will, but I haven't heard anything, and it's kind of worrying me a little bit. Cap-wise, Boston has a space to maneuver, with several contracts coming off the books and a commitment from management to aggressively pursue elite talent. They could absorb Pettersson's salary easily. Moreover, Bruins GM Don Sweeney has shown a willingness to make bold moves, especially if it means solidifying the team's core during the remaining prime years of players like Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy. A trade for Pettersson would likely require parting with premium assets such as Matthew Poitras, Fabian Lysell, or even the 2025 first-round pick to even start the conversation. I would guess, though, Vancouver would want players that can jump into the lineup now instead of the future, unless they all but have come to the realization that Quinn Hughes is bolting at the end of his contract. I understand why Boston's name keeps coming up in rumors surrounding the center, but that could be a potential move, though. If I'm the GM, you do what you need to get done if there's a chance to get a player like Elias Pettersson. As long as you're not moving anyone from your core, if you decide they're still in win-now mode. Sweeney has made it clear the Bruins' expectations are to make the playoffs next season, and to do that, they need to get better, and Pettersson would most likely do that for him. I've always had the opinion that if the trade makes you better, you do it. He would be unlike anything Bruins fans are used to because he doesn't play the game tough, but maybe he would change in the Bruins system. A fresh start might also be exactly what Pettersson needs. The pressure of being the guy in Vancouver is clearly worn him, and to move to a team with a more established leadership structure like Boston could allow him to focus purely on his game. Under the Boston Bruins structure system, Pettersson could rediscover his confidence and elevate Boston's offense, which struggled with consistency in 2024-25. Ultimately, the Canucks may see this offseason as their last best chance to extract maximum value for Pettersson before his no-trade clause kicks in. With management needing to retool around Quinn Hughes, moving Pettersson could bring in that kind of pieces to keep a team competitive in the long run. Whether it's Boston or another contender, it's becoming increasingly clear that Elias Pettersson's time in Vancouver may be nearing its end. Only time will tell, but I want you to be in the GM's shoes of the Boston Bruins. If Vancouver came calling, would you try and make a deal for Pettersson? That's a wrap on today's video. To stay up to date on all the news surrounding the Boston Bruins, please subscribe and drop me a like. If news breaks around the Boston Bruins, be sure to check out the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, thank you, and I'll see you next time.